I remember it like it was yesterday, but at the same time, I kind of don't because it happened so fast. Hi guys, it's me, Essie Magic, and today I want to talk about the day I arrived in LA. Literally the day that changed my life. So one of the things I've never really done is talk about or tell the story of the day that I arrived in LA and how it felt and what happened and how it turned out and all that. So in today, I briefly talked about it in some videos, but today I thought I would take you in depth into the story of, how I arrived here, literally the day I came to LA. Before I get into the video though, I do want to remind you I release videos every Thursday and Saturday. That's Thursday and Saturday. Put it together. What do you get? A magical weekend. Or not weekend. A magical Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay, anyway, you get the point. Hit the notification bell so you're notified of new videos that come out every single week. Yeah, so let's get into the story. So I remember it like it was yesterday, but at the same time, I kind of don't because it happened so fast. So in typical Essie Magic style, I was running late. So one of the things about me is I tend to run late a lot. My friends are aware of this. They've come to accept me for that, and they, still love me, thankfully. It was a day I was in my parents' house and nobody was home. So I actually didn't really get to say bye to anyone that day, if that makes sense. I had to say goodbye the days before, like who I saw. I had a going away party as well. But the actual day I was leaving, there was nobody to see me to the airport. Nobody to drop me off, nobody to help me get there on time. I was by myself. So literally from the get-go, this journey of, diving headfirst into this LA thing was by myself. I've always had to do a lot of things by myself, and this was no different. I guess that's why I'm such a strong person, is because I've had to experience so many things alone that it's made me learn to fend for myself, and it's why I'm able to, do so many things here by myself as well, because of the fact that, I've been put in situations where I had nobody to help me. Not to say that, it's because of other people not being there for me or anything. It's just that my parents live in Ghana. My brother was in the States at the time, and my sister was at work. Yeah, so I think that's why it ended up that way. But my brother did meet me in LA, and I'll get into that in a little bit. So anyway, I wake up that morning and I'm still not done packing at all. Like, I have 3 duffel bags full with, or half full, and I'm not done packing. So stupid me, I try to still squeeze in some errands and shopping that day that I'm leaving, even though I should have been done, at least the day before, if not days before. But there was still some things I need to go do at the store, or I don't remember what it was, go to the bank or something. I need to go change money to US dollars or something like that. So because of that, I hadn't finished packing still, and because I left to go out, I was, I didn't have time to finish packing that morning. So I go out, do what I gotta do, go to the store, buy some clothes. For some reason, I don't know, you get scared and you're just like, oh, I wanna arrive in LA with the right clothes, so it's worth me missing my flight so I can go to the mall and get some more clothes. So somehow at the time it felt logical to me, but it wasn't. It was stupid. But anyway, so I did that. So then I'm like racing to get home in my car. I get the shopping. It wasn't worth it. I didn't find some of the things I wanted anyway. I wanted to get a couple more like skirts, summery clothes, because where I come from, which is Brampton in Ontario, Canada, is winter most of the year. So or I should say cold most of the year, not winter most of the year. Anyway, I wanted to get some last minute clothes, and so I got this stuff. I was racing home, and running out of time, filling my 3 duffel bags with the rest of the stuff I bought, you know, anything left in my room. I wasn't even done packing, like, you know, stuff separate from the shopping. So I was literally packing my stuff. I should have been heading to the airport, but I'm still packing my stuff. I literally left my room in complete disarray. My sister got home that day after I'd gone already. She came home, she was just like, you know, she sent me a message. Oh my gosh, you left your room a mess. You couldn't even clean your room before moving across the country. So anyway, the reason why my room was in disarray was because if I didn't leave right that second, I was gonna miss my flight. And the way it is if it's an international flight, Canada is considered international, contrary to popular belief, because people forget. So you have to be there at least an hour before the flight time. Otherwise, they just close the system and you can't get into the flight. So it's not like when it's in the States, you can arrive like 20 minutes before the flight and just get on. If you are checking bags and you're international, you have to be there at least an hour before. Like check, like put your luggage through the system, everything. So I call the taxi and they come and pick me up. This is back when Uber was not there. So I had to use a taxi. The taxi came quickly, loaded my 3 giant duffel bags into the car, and off we were going to the airport just by myself, you know, with my stuff, you know, heading to the airport. And it was funny because it was just weird because it was a one-way, like I literally was holding my ticket because I had checked in online, and I was holding my one-way ticket, like one-way ticket. Like that's just like me, that in itself seems so monumental, like one-way ticket. Oh, one thing I want to talk about as well. So when I was outside waiting for the taxi, something just hit in me to grab this. This is Homer Simpson. And you guys are probably like, what the hell does Homer Simpson have to do with moving to LA? Let me put him close. He's a little dirty. So let me tell you why this is so significant to me. When I was, you know, in that state of mind where I was absolutely miserable at my job, I hated, you know, living where I was living. It felt uninspiring. I just wanted to move to the States. I wanted to find a way out of there, hurry up, get out of there, you know, and I was miserable that I didn't have enough savings yet to move. I would drive to work every day, and Homer sat on my dashboard in my car, and every single day when I was driving to work, envisioning the future, daydreaming, fantasizing about the future, Homer would just be on my dashboard like this, like the whole time. And the reason why I had him, I didn't choose him, by the way. It's almost like he chose me. But my very first car I bought was a used Mazda Protege 5, and in it was Homer stuck to the dashboard. So when I got the car, I mean, I obviously could have removed it and, you know, just been like, why do I want to have Homer Simpson in my car? You know, throw in the garbage. But it was stuck on so hard that it just didn't, you know, it was like stuck. And so then I just left it, and then it like became a part of me. It's like having Homer Simpson in my car, it just became a part of my car. It was like natural. It became just like, it's like it belongs there. And so literally so for like, I don't know, was it maybe 2 years or something, when I would, you know, just going to work, saving. I also went back to media school, and I just always had Homer on my dashboard, no matter what I was doing, whether it was going on an adventure or going to an important, you know, career event, or going to journalism school or going to work. I just always had Homer along for the ride with me. And so it's so funny. He's like, his head is like dark and stuff because like I think the dashboard tanned him or something, even his back. Anyway, the day that I was leaving for LA, I just decided, I saw him in my car sitting in the dashboard because I left my car behind because my car was super old and it wasn't going to make it to LA. I just saw him on my dashboard. I just opened the door, ripped him off the dashboard, and then the taxi came and Homer came along with me to LA. And every time I see him, it just reminds me of where I came from and that journey of every single day. Like, even though I was so, like, I was like depressed back home, like I did not want to be there. And bringing him with me, it just kind of reminds me of everything I went through to come here, and just really humbles me and makes me feel, you know, proud of myself for how far I've come. I've gone from, you know, driving every day in this old car to work at a job that I couldn't stand, to, you know, being here with him just kind of sitting on my desk, or, you know, sometimes I move him around. So yeah, I had grabbed Homer at the last minute and brought him with me to LA. With Homer and my bags, I was off to the airport. I arrived there, and the thing about me is, because I'm always running late going to airports, I was sweating. And I get there, and that's the thing, is when you're traveling alone and you have a lot of luggage, you don't even have like someone to help you unload the luggage. Like, it was so much work. I was sweating, I was tired, but I managed to lift all 3 of my duffel bags onto my cart, you know, and just push. It was heavy, and just push it in the airport. Get there before the 1 hour deadline to check your luggage. And I made it through the gate. And then the most exciting part, which I don't know, it's not the most exciting part, but it was still very monumental, is like when you go through the customs and they ask you, you know, where you're going. And I said to the guy, I'm moving to LA. And it just felt so good to tell the customs guy I'm moving to LA. And I had set my luggage over the conveyor belt or whatever, and I then went to the gate, and for the first time ever, it was a lot of firsts that day, and I had never been to LA. So keep in mind, this was felt like a journey for me, because I was literally going somewhere I'd never been. And so I also was flying WestJet, which I've never flown WestJet before, ever. But that was the best flight I could get. And so I just, you know, it was time to get on the plane. I got on the WestJet flight, and, you know, I just watched TV. And the funny thing is that it was so funny. Half the plane, for some reason, the TV wasn't working. Like, they had, like, I know not all planes have little TVs, but this plane had little TVs on every seat. I try to choose planes like that. And I remember half the side of the plane, the TVs were not working. And thank goodness I was on the side where the TV was working. And so I just watched movies the whole flight. It was about a 4-hour flight. And then, oh my gosh, you get to that moment where your ears start popping and you know the plane is gonna land soon. And thankfully I had a window seat. I purposely chose a window seat so I could see the plane land. And I had never been to LA again. Remember, I'd never been to LA. So I'm just looking out the window, and it was nighttime too. It was dark, because it was like around, well, it wasn't dark. It was like, was it like 6 or so? Or was it, I don't remember if it was, I can't remember if it was, you know, bright or dark outside. Yeah, it was still a little bright out. It wasn't dark just yet. And I remember just looking out the window and seeing LA emerge, like looking at all the buildings, the mountains and the hills. And I looked out the window and I just felt like, oh my gosh, I am home. It was like it just felt right. And it was the most exciting moment in my life. I will never forget that moment when we were descending over Los Angeles. And so then the plane landed, and man, it was like they took so long to let us off, and I was so excited, like, hurry up, let us off. And then they did, and I got into the airport, my first time at LAX. And oh yeah, so then this is where my brother comes in, and because he was nice enough to meet me in LA, so I wasn't arriving in a, you know, a large city all alone. He was living in North Carolina at the time, so he hopped on a separate flight from North Carolina and flew to LA to meet me at the airport. And his flight arrived before me. We didn't plan it for him to arrive before me, it just so happened, which was convenient for me. And so I get there, and it's like I'm just waiting for my luggage to come, you know, on the conveyor belt. And I remember the first thing that was so shocking, I'll never get over this, was the fact that the carts in the airport cost $5 each. I was like, what kind of airport is this? It costs $5 for a cart, or a trolley as they call it in Europe or different countries. And to make matters worse, because I had 3 duffel bags, remember, I had to pay $5 for each cart. And it's not like the ones where you get the money back when you return the card. Nope, your money's just gone. So I had 3 cards and had to pay $15 each cart, and they're not big cards. And then I had to kind of push each of them out separately because, you know, I couldn't fit them all in one cart and I was by myself. And then the most interesting thing happened was I reached the door to go outside, like step on the ground of LA, like on the pavement of LA now. And oh my gosh, it was so hot. It's like I just walked into hot. Like it was just like walking into a hot air balloon. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this place is so warm. I know it's gonna be hot, obviously, but I thought, okay, it's not quite summer. And I remember I was wearing like a blue flowy top and a blazer, and oh my gosh, I just ripped that blazer right off. And like literally just came off so fast because I was hot. And I checked my phone and I saw the message from my brother being like, I'm at the airport, because he arrived early. So he rented a car, and not only rented a car, but actually went to go buy an air mattress because we were staying in an Airbnb like guest house, and there was only one bed, and we're brother and sister, so we don't share the same bed. He actually had time to grab an air mattress and then meet me at the airport. And what's so funny about this is back home, everyone shops at Walmart. Like it doesn't matter if you're poor or you're middle class or you're upper class, like everyone shops at Walmart. Little did we know, in LA, nobody shops at Walmart. Only like the really like struggling people shop there, which is, I don't have anything against Walmart, but it was why I suggested it to my brother. Oh, just go to Walmart and buy a, you know, air mattress, because that's what it's like back home. Everyone shops at Walmart back home. However, from this moment, we realized why Walmart is a joke in so many movies and sitcoms and comedies where they talk about the types of people who go to Walmart. Because this was like the worst Walmart ever. My brother told me he went there. It was like the shelves were empty. It was like, what kind of Walmart is this? What kind of like quality control do they have cross country at Walmart? So anyway, that was a huge eye opener. It was just to see the fact that the Walmart was different from back home. Yeah, I mean, I come from Canada where everything's, you know, neat and clean and tidy. So this was a shock for me. So anyway, he meets me at the airport. I'm staying outside with my 3 bags, and he comes driving around, and oh my God, it was such a relief to see him. It felt so good. And he had a massive smile on his face too, because he had never been to LA either. So he just kind of looked at me. He's just like, we're here, we did it. You know, we're in LA, it's, you know, and so it just felt so good. Then he helped me load my stuff in the car, and we were on our way to the Airbnb. And then stupid me, because of the fact that I didn't know that much about LA at the time, I booked the Airbnb in Glendale, which, if any of you guys know, Glendale is far from the main area. So then we had to drive all the way to Glendale from the airport. I think it was at least a 40-minute drive on the highway. And then we rented this guest house, which reminded me of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, to be honest, because how like Will lived in the guest house. So we got to the house, and the guy led us into the back of the house where the guest house was, and we were there. And my brother blew up the air mattress, and I think we stopped at to get some fast food. We had to have, because otherwise we would have been super hungry. And then we were in LA, and it was just like, I'm here, I'm home. And it was just like, when I look back at it, I just can't even sometimes, you know, believe, you know, that I did that, considering the odds were stacked against me. I didn't come with as much savings as I wish I would have come with. Plus, I had nobody to help me that day, except for obviously once I arrived in LA, which was awesome. But I mean, in terms of loading such big luggage by myself, and like, you know, ugh, wow. So yeah, so that was the story of the first day that I arrived in LA, and it changed my life. It really did. It was the beginning of this adventure that I started, that I'm still on, that I am, you know, forever grateful for and happy that I did it. And things have continued to just get better and better for me ever since. Every single year I've been making more money every year, you know, doing more projects, you know, growing, getting more experiences, meeting, new people, and it just keeps getting better and better. And it all started from that day I got on that plane and I came over here. And well, okay, it didn't all start that day, but the reason why I say that, even though I did prepare for LA a lot, like I did lots of research and saving and all this stuff, taking the actual action is 10 times more valuable than planning for something. If you don't actually do it, there's no point doing all the planning. So that's why I say that that day I hopped on the plane and actually went is very significant. So yeah, if you enjoyed this story that I told, I mean, nothing crazy happened. It's not like some crazy taxi driver dropped me at the airport or something like that. If you did enjoy this video though, I would love for you to check out lagoals.com, a community I created for people who want to move to LA or who are already living in LA and trying to make it here. There's tons of resources there for you, guides and articles on how to get around town, succeed, how to plan your move. We also have live group chats every single month where you can ask me anything. I post gigs and any sort of auditions and opportunities I see happening in the city. So yeah, that is lagoals.com. Make sure you check it out if you want to meet like-minded individuals. There's also a message board there as well. And yeah, that's lagoals.com. With that being said, I do want to remind you I release videos every Thursday and Saturday. If you're new here, my name is Essie Magic. I live my life being magic every single day, which is why I call myself Essie Magic, and I hope you will join me on this journey as well. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and with that being said, oh wait, actually, comment below and comment below and tell me about your first day you moved to LA. If you're already here, if you're not here, tell me about how you imagine it to be and how you want it to go and how you dream of it to be. Anyway, with that being said, keep being magic. Bye!